Hi, in today's session I want to talk about arthritis. Fundamentally there are two types of arthritis, rheumatoid and osteo. Rheumatoid arthritis is considered to be an autoimmune disease. Now there's a lot of stuff written about autoimmune diseases where they always say that it's a malfunction of the immune system. I disagree completely. I think the immune system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, because when you take into consideration that your body is a reflection of your thinking, and your mind is always talking to you to help you stay on that narrow path that is talked about in the King James Version about finding the kingdom within, which is also talked about in Luke 17:21. So, what is happening is that your mind is always talking to you, giving you guidance in the way of symbols and in dreams. And the reason for all that is so that if you understand your particular patterns of behavior and the concepts that they're coming from, then as the pattern is beginning to unfold, your mind will give you symbols to help you understand which pattern is at work, where you are in the pattern, and by understanding that, by reading a symbol or having interpreted dream and knowing what you're going through, understanding that gives you an opportunity to change an attitude, and in changing an attitude, you change the pre-programmed outcome of the pattern of behavior. Because all patterns of behavior have a pre-programmed result. There's an expectation, and because your mind is geared to fulfill your expectations, that's why the patterns work. And what the patterns do is validate the concept as being true, even when the concept is detrimental to your well-being. So from my point of view, and I've written a book on autoimmune diseases, and from my point of view, what the deal is that you've misread, let me rephrase that, you've never been taught how to read symbols, so you didn't follow the guidance because you didn't know it was guidance, and consequently, your mind said, okay, you've missed everything I've told you, let me demonstrate it to you in your body. And that's where all diseases, conditions, symptoms, diseases come from. They are the result of emotional conflict. And when you don't understand the conflict within, then guess what? Eventually, you're going to manifest it physically, pure and simple. So, with rheumatoid arthritis, it's your mind is attacking the joints. Now, it depends on which joints are being attacked. If it's your hands, that's one thing, your elbow, your back, wherever you have developed arthritis. So that will take us to the symbolic significance of arthritis. And it is inflexible thinking. You know, people with arthritis, it's kind of like, well, you know, my dad did it this way, my grandfather did it this way, this is the way it gets done. Well, maybe there's other ways to do it. Maybe by saying that this is the only way to get it done, you're reinforcing inflexible thinking. And over time, because you've been inflexible about this and that and the other, eventually your mind is going to show you where your inflexibility is. If it's in your back, it's how you support yourself. If it's in your hands, it's how you handle things. So you need to really understand what that's about. Now, I'm not going to tell you to build your immune system, although with both forms of arthritis, the osteo and or rheumatoid, there are certain things that happen. Calcium deposits, and calcium being symbolic of strength. Well, if you don't think you have the strength to change, guess what? You're not going to be able to use your calcium effectively. This is also why there are kidney stones, bone spurs, spinal stenosis, calcium deposits aggregating in different parts of the body. Again, it's just merely more a denial of one's own strength. So some of the things that you can do for arthritis, one, is really examine your diet and try to get into more living foods. And go online and take a look at those foods that are not beneficial for an arthritic to eat. From a nutrient point of view, if you have the little calcium deposits in your body, look at magnesium, vitamin D. They will help the body to assimilate it. For greater mobility and to help get rid of the pain. Now, I'm not a fan of glucosamine and chondroitin for the simple reason that I don't believe they really help cure arthritis. They may alleviate some of the symptoms, but I don't know that it's a cure. Be that as it may, these herbs have a long history of being excellent for arthritis. Devil's claw is something out of Africa, alfalfa, yucca, long history, and used by herbalists pretty much all over the world. They're fabulous for both forms of arthritis. Osteoarthritis is, more the result of the diet, where there has been so much protein and acidic foods coming into the diet that an acid ash, when you consume a lot of protein, meat, fish, fowl, nuts, grain, dairy, when you consume a lot of protein, it leaves what we call an acid ash in your bloodstream. Well, that acidity will go and eventually work on the synovial membranes, dissolving them, eating through them. The fluid leaks out. Now you've got arthritis. You've got bone on bone. Painful. In fact, for pain, you can increase your B1, that helps build the body's threshold for pain. Also, look at DLPA, which is a left-handed molecule of phenylalanine, which also helps with pain. And of course, topically, you could put on DMSO. So there you go. So there's some approaches, but the reality of the arthritis issue and affecting your joints is inflexible thinking. So look around, see what's going on. One, understand what part of your body it's affecting. To understand more about the symbology of not only arthritis and the nutrients and the body parts, take a look at the Disease Symbology Handbook. It's free, it's under gifts, and at the Kuna Teachings website, you can download it, read it online, look up whatever you want. All of my work there is free. Look around your life, see where you have a tendency to be rigid, staunch, this is the way it is. Loosen up. On every single level, you may find your life becoming more flexible, more mobile, and less painful. Think in flexible terms. Experiment. There's no telling what you'll learn. At any rate, thanks for stopping by. Have a fabulous everything, and God bless and be well.